Hey guys, Captain Dylan Hubbard here at Hubbard's Marina. Welcome to the Sunday night live stream show. Hopefully you're ready for a good time. I know I'm excited for another great show. Thankful to you for hanging out with us and joining us for this Sunday night live stream adventure. Off the hook with Captain Hubbard. We're going to be giving away free fishing trips. We're going to be talking about what's going on, what's coming up, and more. Talking about announcements, talking about what we're catching, a little bit about the weather, answering your questions live during the show. Remember, if you have a question you want answered live during the show, text us your questions, because remember, if you comment on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, wherever you're watching, we don't always see all the comments because we're streaming to so many different platforms on so many different pages. We don't always get to see what you put in the comments. So remember, if you have a question you want answered live during the show, shoot us a text message to the phone number at the bottom of the screen. Also, want to make sure we give a shout out to our friends over at Gator Jim's Tackle. Gator Jim's Tackle, 3301 Pinellas Point Drive South in St. Pete. If you haven't stopped by to see our friends at Gator Jim's Tackle, you are missing out. They brought you this show, and they've been a longtime partner of the show's presenting partner of the show. And they have an incredible selection, stuffed to the gills with deals over there. It is a very unique destination. Gator Jim's Tackle, again, 3301 Pinellas Point Drive South in St. Pete. Stop by and say hello and tell them Hubbard's Marina sent you. You will not regret a visit over there. It is very, very cool. Great people, and again, just an amazing selection and killer deals. Also want to make sure we give a shout out to our supporters who are watching on YouTube and Facebook and our supporters group. Remember, if you become a supporter on Facebook, you get access to that private supporters group. We have the after show. We've been giving away a ton of free stuff there. We gave away two 12-hour extremes. We gave away 4 10-hour all days. This past week, we gave away 2 10-hour all days again. So we've given thousands of dollars away free in the Supporters Club, and you get the access to the private after show every Sunday night, and you get access to the private group as well. So think about becoming a supporter. Again, it's only $4.99 a month. You can't beat that. And on top of that, we want to, of course, give a shout out to all those who are sending stars. We had Larry White on Facebook with a big 1,000 stars. Stephen Batchelor with a big 500 stars. Appreciate you, buddy. Troy Davis and Jason Richmond as well. Appreciate all the stars senders on Facebook. We had a bunch of super chats come through on YouTube as well, from Richard Blazak with a big 5, Sam with a big 10. Thanks, Sam Lang. Gary Nichols, what's going on, buddy? The Hall family with 20. Appreciate you, my friends. Hopefully everybody's doing well over there at the Hall household. Adam Franklin with 5. Appreciate you, buddy. Gary Camage as well. Big shout out to you all as well. Don Schuett, what's going on, buddy, with the big 20 on YouTube. Thank you guys for the fan, what do they call those? Super chats, right, Josh? Super chats on YouTube and stars on Facebook. Appreciate you all so much. Also want to make sure we tell you guys again how to enter to win. If you want a chance to win free trips tonight and every Sunday night, remember we give away $1,500 every Sunday night. If you want a chance to win, you do have to comment one time on the Hubbard's Marina YouTube stream. So you have to go to YouTube, find the Hubbard's Marina page, and comment one time on the live stream video. That's how you enter for a chance to win. Then you have to watch the entire show live. Then you have to make sure, if you're picked as one of the lucky winners, you got to text us at that phone number at the bottom of the screen within 5 minutes to prove you're watching live. So you got to watch the entire show live. Text us if you're picked as one of the lucky winners to the phone number at the bottom of the screen, and comment one time on the Hubbard's Marina YouTube stream in order to enter for a chance to win. All right, with that, we always get started off the show by showing you photos of what we're catching. Then we transition into talking a little bit about the weather. Then we get into some announcements, and then finally we conclude with your questions. So if you have a question, again, you want answered live during the show, text us your question. Ben Young, appreciate those stars on Facebook. John Bull as well. Ed Mack, appreciate y'all on Facebook for sending the stars. And then Dolores Beers, appreciate you. And Mike with the big $20 super chat there, y'all. All right, let's get Scott Flynn. What's up, buddy? All right, let's get into the near shore or inshore photos. Start inshore, then we'll work our way near shore and also shore. Having trouble tonight. Inshore photos. Let's get started off. A great cobia from the inshore side of things this past week, which was pretty cool to see. The flounder action has really kicked off. Remember, flounder close October 15th. So just 3 more days to get your flounder, but man, have they really picked up and started biting well throughout the area, which is cool to see. And they will be closed, I think, until December. I mean, honestly, I'm going to have to check fish rules, and we'll show you how to do that here in a second. So we'll check that after the photos, so that way I can walk you through how to check it. But it is going to be closed for about a month and a half, I believe. So some nice flounder action. The redfish action has been spectacular. A lot of redfish schooling around the area, getting super aggressive and super prolific. From the upper bay to the middle bay to the outer bay, and even soon we'll see those schools pouring out of the passes and along the beaches chasing the birds. Pretty cool to see. There's our buddy Capt. Mike Anderson putting his guess on lots of those redfish. It has been a steady redfish fiasco around the area, to say the least. This is prime time for redfish action. End of September into early October is kind of our area's Super Bowl of redfish, if you will. Much like snook on the beaches and in the passes, May, June, and July. Tarpon, May, June. This is it. This is peak time for the redfish. Pretty cool to see. Speaking of snook, we are seeing some snook around the passes and on the beaches still, but fewer and further between. They are starting their retreat pretty heavily. But as you can see, our Johns Pass natives and Johns Pass pros are still putting on a clinic, still catching them up around the pass. But a lot of these fish are definitely on the move. We're seeing it. We're seeing it in action. Retreating. Look at how dark that one is. You can tell he's pretty far back in the upper bay just by the color of the back. Same thing with that one. And I heard from our buddy Captain Ray Markham. He was on the radio show with me this past Saturday, the Real Animals radio show we do live every Saturday morning from 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. He caught some snook. I can't tell you where. I was sworn to secrecy, but it was very far upper bay. Rivers. Captain Scott Moore. Now, most of you know Captain Scott Moore if you've been around the area talking inshore side of things at all. He is a legend, and he said as well they're already up in the rivers. So that's pretty cool to hear. The snook have raced into the upper bay and back bay waters. Mackerel starting to be real thick around the area. Lots of mackerel showing up in the bay, around our local fishing piers, around our deeper flats. We're seeing a lot of big mackerel on the beaches too. Trout action has been steady. Dock lights and bridge lights holding plenty of trout. During the day, we're seeing trout on the edges, the potholes. We're seeing a lot of trout on these low tides on the edges of the channels for sure. Been following some schools of mullet around. Hogfish action. Crazy hogfish today. Today's 10-hour all day with Captain James had 17 keeper hogfish. So our best so far this kind of fall time. Captain Dylan had a trip where I think he had 10 or 11 keeper hogfish. Captain Joe had a private charter the other day with 9 keeper hogfish. It was only an 8-hour private charter. Captain Seabass has been putting huge piles of hogfish together the last week or so. So we have steadily seen an increasing trend in more and more of these hogfish. So I would say confidently the hogfish bite is starting strong. It was starting. It was getting a little better. I would say now it's starting to be strong, and it's not crazy yet, but it's on the cusp, and I think we're one cold front away from it getting crazy for sure. It's cool to see hogfish action going so well on our nearshore side of things. On the 10-hour all day, we're really dialing into them. The half day, you have a chance for them. We are seeing a lot of mackerel trolling. We should hopefully see the kingfish on the flat line soon. So it's an exciting time to get out there near shore and capitalize. Plus, like I said, pretty light loads. The weekends have been busier. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, AM half days have been busier. But the afternoon trips, today we had an afternoon trip with only, I think it had 24 people on it. The Sunday 10-hour has been a little busier with 40 or so. I think today's trip had 44. But this weekend, or this weekday 10 hours coming up, Tuesday's 10-hour, I think has 19 people on it, if I recall, on Tuesday. So super light loads during the week on the near shore trips. The week is really the good time to go, too. So let's get into, speaking of weather, let's show you guys what's going on with the weather. I'm excited weather-wise. Real good things going on weather-wise. We're going to go over to hubbardsmarina.com. We're going to click fishing trips. Then we're going to click weather links. And on our weather links page, let's start on our 5 and 10-hour forecast area. Finally, we're seeing some dark blues. It has been light green pretty much 2.5 weeks in a row on this upper graph, meaning it's been blowing 15, 20, 25 mile an hour for pretty much 2 weeks. And now finally we got some dark blues, which means 10 mile an hour or less. Tomorrow looks spectacular, gorgeous, as good as it gets. Tuesday looks gorgeous, as good as it gets. It picks up a little bit Wednesday, but not enough to really pick up the seas too much. So Wednesday looking really good still. Thursday, a little bit more of a moderate breeze, but again, wind shifts, so it doesn't have a chance to really build up the seas. Friday, it starts to blow a little bit, but it's an east wind, so that won't slow us down near shore to make offshore a little chunky, but not crazy. We should be able to pull off this weekend's 39-hour coming up. It just might be a little bit bumpier than we would like, but near shore side of things won't slow down. So we've got a solid forecast for some great 10-hour trips, 5-hour trips. The 12-hour extreme trip Wednesday should do really well. So I'm excited. I'm excited to get back out there, get offshore, and really put a hurting on these fish. Some beautiful days coming up the backside of next weekend as well. And we're on a quarter moon right now. I think October 20th, this Monday, is a new moon. So looking real nice this week with beautiful weather. I would say your best weather days are Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Thursday's still really pretty good. And then Friday, Saturday, Sunday don't look terrible, but definitely a little bit more of a moderate breeze. So hopefully you'll be able to get out there and capitalize on those opportunities to destroy these fish. It is great this time of year when the weather is blowing. It gets a little bit tricky, but when the weather backs off and you get these nice little weather windows, man, the fish just totally fire up. Don Shuett, appreciate that $10 super chat there on YouTube, my friend. Scott Flynn with the added stars on Facebook as well. Appreciate you guys. All right, so we talked about the photos. We showed you the photos. We talked about the weather. Remember, we got some events coming up. Big event coming up here at the end of October 28th. We're 16 days away from a very special event. We're going to have Captain Dave Pomerleau, the Mad Snooker himself, in location with us at OCC's Roadhouse. That is Tuesday night, October 28th, from 7 to 9 p.m. And he's going to be giving away a free 4-hour private charter. So you can get a 4-hour private charter with Captain Dave Pomerleau, the Mad Snooker himself. This guy generally sees 40 to 50 snook a charter. I mean, this is a trip where you're going to catch fish until your shoulder hurts. It is crazy. So really cool opportunity to win a free private fishing charter, 4-hour private fishing charter with Captain Dave Pomerleau. That is Tuesday night, October 28th. And on top of that, I'm excited just to pick his brain on how to catch big snook at night. And you can do a lot of that from shore too. You don't necessarily have to have a boat. So it'll be a really cool seminar. He actually fishes from shore sometimes on his charters too for fun. He has a trailer with a big above ground pool on it for live bait, and he'll trailer that out to a bridge and just absolutely destroy some snook with a 125-pound test. It's pretty crazy. So hopefully you can join us again Tuesday night, October 28th, 7 to 9 p.m. Captain Dave Pomerleau, the Mad Snooker, in-house at OCC Roadhouse. It's going to be fun. I'm super pumped about that one. And then don't forget as well, we've got November 22nd, Hooked on Hope. Going to be a great time. And hopefully you can join us over there at Metropolitan Ministries Holiday Tent in Tampa on North Rome Avenue. You'll also be able to donate food leading up to that event at the Old Salt's King of the Beach in November, and also at the Pro Marine location in Bay Pines between the Old Salt's King of the Beach November event and November 22nd's Hooked on Hope event, or not Hooked on Hope, Fishing for Hope event. So super pumped about that as well. So hopefully we'll see you soon. Ken Gurney, yes, we are streaming on YouTube. Josh has shared the link in the chat quite a few times, but I'll share it again. We stream live on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and sometimes TikTok when it decides not to be difficult. Tonight it's being difficult, so we're not streaming live to TikTok tonight, but hopefully next week we'll see. Sometimes it lets us, sometimes it doesn't. You never know. All right, with that, or you want to talk about this? Oh, you added it already. Nice. Gift certificates. We got it back up on the website. And news to Josh. Meant to talk to him about this before the show, but he can find out with you guys too. We got to work on launching our Shopify gift cards. So if Lori wants to launch a Shopify gift card for the holidays, Josh. Yep. So what I was thinking, we could do a gift certificates page, like a landing page, and split it down the middle. Kind of do a retail gift certificates, fishing trip gift certificates, and people will be able to choose their own adventure. And that way, if you want to purchase a gift certificate to send your loved one to Hubbard's Marina to pick up a rod and reel or some other assorted Hubbard's Marina goodies, we'll have a retail gift certificate, and then we'll have a gift certificate for the trips. Because remember, we use two different systems, one for retail, one for trips. So unfortunately, our gift cards that are purchasable right now on our website are not able to be used for retail. So we want to be able to offer both, and that's why we are going to be doing this. But if you go to hubbardsmarina.com, hit shop, and then hit gift certificates, that'll bring you to our gift certificates page, which currently is good for trips. Pretty cool. And as we get closer here, probably a week or two away, we'll have the gift certificates for Shopify, our retail system, on there. But if you have not checked it out yet, our retail system is pretty cool. We have that new online store. Oh, speaking of, is Mike on the phone?
Yep.
All right, Mike's on the phone, so we're going to get to him. But after that, Josh, remind me about the calendars. We should show those because I'm super excited about that. What's going on, Capt Mike? How are you, buddy?
I'm good, my brother. How are you?
Another day in paradise. Packers win?
Packers won.
Nice.
Bucks won. Packers won.
I was just about to say, I hope the Bucks won because they were ahead.
They did. The Bucks won. Baker looked amazing as usual, and the Packers won too. So I'm doubly pleased.
Nice. Always good to hear all the teams.
I'm also pleased the wind is going to stop a little bit, at least for a little while. It's going to slow down a touch.
We need
Jeez.
it. Yeah,
it's been crazy. Crazy.
It's been crazy breezy, and it's been nonstop. And finally, we're getting a little bit of a break in the weather, and man, it really looks good this upcoming week. Front side of the new moon, and you really like the new moon, don't you?
I do. I love the new moon, and I'll tell you, even this weekend, I had a big group trip for Habitat for Humanity on Saturday, and the boys said, man, it was brutal out there getting to Apollo Beach, but they said, boy, once they picked up the people, they started fishing. They said the bite was fantastic. There was a lot of big snooks, some redfish, a lot of nice trout in the canal. So at least the bite was good. I kept getting texts from my guys because I was very apologetic about having them make that run over to Apollo Beach in the morning because it was really bad, guys taking waves up over the top of their towers. It was just really bad with that north wind out front. But they all said, hey, at least the fishing's good. The fish are chewing great. So, that's the good news. The good news is the bite was already good. That wind comes down a little bit. We get closer to the new moon. Should just improve. We got great reports on the radio show today from, Captain Rick Gross, everything going on down in front of Sarasota. This week I had some people call for some trips up towards Clearwater. I talked to those guys. The bite's been good up there. So, all over the Bay Area, things are really fired off.
Yeah, and just a little bit of a temperature drop. It was really interesting getting the chance to chat with Captain Ray Markham so in depth Saturday morning, and then having Scott and Van Hubbard call in for such lengthy periods. I don't think I've been that quiet on our radio show in a very long time. I felt like I was just watching like a fly on the wall these guys talk, and man, I learned a lot. And it was interesting. They were talking about how water temperatures can vary so much in the Bay, and that like one of the biggest tools is just finding those water temperature changes and how much it can turn the fish on.
That's cool. A fact. Yeah. Finding that happy water temperature is a big deal. Almost year round.
Yeah.
Obviously it's a little better when, the temps are in the 70s because, 70 is a pretty happy area for most of our fish. But, in the wintertime when the water temps dip and then finding water that's a little warmer, and then in the summertime when the water temps are, usually through the roof or at least really high here in Tampa Bay, if you can find just a little bit cooler water, maybe water that's moving a little better in one area or another, that changes everything. It's crazy. Yeah. But I always think about it. And I don't know how it is in your house, but in my house, I like it to be cool. Mm-hmm. So, if for some reason you forget to turn it down when you come home, we usually kick it up to like 74, 75 during the day. And then at night, we like to drop down to 72, 71. If you forget to drop it and go to lay down in bed at night and it's still 75, that couple of degree difference is really huge. Yeah. Same thing with the fish. A couple of degrees makes a big difference.
Dude,
difference.
When I was growing up, my father, when I was growing up, what our temperature was set at in the house?
I can't even imagine.
79.
Ooh,
never could you change it. I remember the most trouble I ever got in was turning down the thermostat once.
Come on, Dad.
Yeah, so nowadays I keep it cool, just like you. 74, 75 during the day,
right.
Real low at night.
Yes, sir. Keep it down there. I told Beth I bumped heads with my bride for years on it, and I'm like, listen, I work outside. It's really warm. When I come inside at night, I like it to be really cool. Let's do this.
That's awesome. Well, on the mackerel side of things, you guys were talking today. You got a lot of reports of the mackerel. No kingfish yet, though.
No, I mean, just the same thing I was hearing from some of my guys was that, they have to be here. A couple guys saw a couple skyrocket, they said. Mm-hmm. And I think it's, like Rick Gross said, there's blue runners here already. The bait's right.
Yeah.
Usually that big push of mackerel comes in, and then we see the kingfish. So everybody is like, they're kind of on pins and needles, like any day now. We should get them any day.
It's going to pop off.
Yeah, it's going to pop off. Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because I don't consider chasing kingfish as one of the top, one of my favorite things to go do per se. But it's interesting that every year about this time, I get crazy excited for them to get here because we've been snook and redfish and trout fishing for so long.
Yeah, it's a nice change.
I love it. I love the change. I love getting out there when things are going off on the hard bottom areas because you don't know what you're going to run into. The big redfish. The big redfish are on the coast right now. You just got to find them.
A cobia, a triple tail. You never know what you're going to see.
You just don't know. A big gag grouper on the hard bottom. You just don't know. And getting out there on the hard bottom, you fill your live wells with tons of extra bait. You do a lot of chumming. You want a lot of mackerel, some kingfish, a lot of things into your chum slick back there. Mm-hmm. And inevitably, you just don't know what's going to show up. It could be sharks. It could be just all kinds of killer action. So it's a great time of the year as long as Mother Nature plays along and we can get the bay boats out there to get to them.
We'll hope the weather stays nice. We got a little bit of a breeze coming up this weekend, but it's out of the east at least, so you'll still be able to hug the beach and do your bay boat thing on the beach.
Yeah, that's the key. As long as we can get out there and that wind stays out of the east and it doesn't get north or northwest or southwest, and you're in pretty good shape.
Amen. Well,
yes,
we
sir.
appreciate you, brother. Thank you.
Always good to call in. Looking forward to the OCC Roadhouse coming up here October 28th.
Oh yeah,
Dave Pomerleau. I've done several of these with Dave over my career, and they're always awesome. Dude is super entertaining, super energetic. Kind of the same way he is when he calls on the radio show. He's just a live wire.
What people got to realize is this will be morning for him. He will be showing up at 7 p.m. Mike and I might be a little tired. We've had a long day. We've gone to work. We've gone to the gym. We're winding down. This dude literally just got out of bed.
Sounds like my
he's going to be.
Yeah, he's
he's going to be fueled up. Yeah, he's an animal. Yeah. Total animal. It'll be fun.
It'll be interesting for sure. I think OCC is going to have to kick us out because he's gonna keep going.
That could be. That could very well be. Yeah, my boy's energetic. It'll be a fun one. You guys have a great night. I appreciate the time, my friend.
All right, buddy. Have a good one. Tell Beth I said
hello. All right, partner. We'll do it. See you guys.
Always a pleasure to hear from Capt Mike. And yeah, it's going to be cool. They call him Count Snookula. Yeah. Seriously.
Many nicknames.
He's shown up in a vampire outfit before. The vampire. He's the only charter captain you will meet that is not tan. Homie is like translucent. Like doesn't see the sun. Yeah. Yeah, like you, Josh. It's crazy. It's crazy.
He's my type of cap.
I think you're more tan than he is, honestly.
Oh, no.
And that's saying
stop going outside in the daytime.
It is definitely going to be interesting to have him join us. I've personally wanted to make it to his seminars before. He speaks at Salt Strong quite a bit, the Salt Strong chapters. And I've marked my calendar. He spoke at Old Salts not long ago, and I've marked my calendar to make it to one of his seminars before, and I've never had the chance. So I'm excited he's coming to join us. Jorge Gonzalez, appreciate the super chat on YouTube there. Scott Flynn, Ed Mack, Ben Young on the stars. Appreciate y'all. Now, let's get into, we talked about the weather, we talked about what we're catching, we talked about what's coming up. Calendars is something we want to mention real quick, and then we're going to do a giveaway and get into your questions. Remember, if you have a question you want answered live during the show, text it into the phone number at the bottom of the screen. Also, don't forget to subscribe. If you're watching on YouTube, subscribe. Please subscribe. And also, make sure if you're watching on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, give the video a thumbs up and make sure you comment. It helps a lot to reach more people. So like, comment, follow, subscribe. A lot of people who watch our videos and our shows, only like 20-30%, I think it's even lower than that, like 15% are actually subscribed. It takes no effort on your part. It's free, and it helps us tremendously. So make sure you subscribe, please. All right, let's get into the calendars. I wanted to show you guys this. First time in a very long time, we have, with Josh's prowess and leadership, gotten our calendars early. We have our calendars on our web store and orderable before mid-October. And that's impressive to me, at least, because back when I was doing this by myself, we'd be lucky to get it before January. So it is pretty exciting. We have our calendar up on the online store. You can purchase your calendar, your 2026 calendar, for $5. We got it as cheap as possible for you to make it easy as possible to order. We also have them in our shop at Hubbard's Marina as well. So you can go to hubbardsmarina.com, click shop, and right on our online store, you'll see that pop up. Or you can stop by our shop in person. We have them right on the calendar for you, or on the counter for you. And if you are in our supporters club, or you're one of our regulars club members, we're going to be giving them out for free. So you can join the supporters club for $4.99 a month, and we'll give you a free calendar, or you can buy a calendar for $5. Or if you're in our regulars club, of course, we're going to give you a free calendar as well. So keep that in mind. We got a lot of them. Make sure you check it out. We appreciate it. With that, let's get into your questions. So We are going to get into the questions and starting them off right, Josh. I think you're right. We should do a giveaway first. We've got a 5-hour half day to give away, a 10-hour all day to give away, and a 39-hour to give away as well. Our 5-hour half day is what we're going to start with. We're going to give away a 5-hour half day, for one lucky winner, 2 guests, 5-hour half days, brought to you by our friends over at Innovative Pools and Spa. Remember, Innovative Pools and Spas brings you 35 years of experience building pools in the Tampa Bay area. They're continuing the legacy of their father's company as a top pool builder in the area for over 3 decades. Plus, they are continuing to raise the bar in pool construction, design, and features. And they have an unparalleled passion for the industry. Call them today at 727-788-1650 or visit them online at innovativepoolsandspa.net for an estimate and see why Innovative Pools and Spa is a top choice for families in our community. All right, 5-hour half day, 1 lucky winner, 2 guests. Brought to you by our friends over at Innovative Pools and Spa. Winner is Brian Engel. Congrats, my friend. Talking smack while winning free trips. No, my truck didn't break down. Got a new truck. Super happy about my new truck. And super pumped. So, fresh new look with the new truck as well. If you haven't seen it, you can pop over to the Captain Dylan Hubbard Facebook page. We shared photos today. So my truck did not break down, just new version, fresh model. All right, let's get into your questions and see what we got. But you did win a free trip while you talk smack about my truck, so congrats. Lucky I love you, Brian. All right, next question, what do we got? Let's skip to 7:30, there we go. Looking forward to tonight's episode. Heck yeah, so were we. My son and myself are booked on a 39-hour October 21st. What does a long-range forecast look like for October 21st? That is 9 days out. So long-range forecast would be virtually useless. But right now it's looking good. So positive note, it's looking good. But remember, it is virtually useless that far in advance. Really, you want to start looking at the weather about 5 days out. Gives you an idea. For 3 to 4 days out, you feel more confident. Once you're about 2 to 3 days out, you're pretty confident. And 24 hours out is where you really start to be at extremely high confidence. So I wouldn't even bother looking at the weather until you're about 5 days out. That'll give you a better idea of what's actually happened. Any strategic advice for the 12-hour night trip? This time of year is a little tricky. The 12-hour night trip coming up this Friday is not looking too hot because we have that wind picking up Friday night. I think we'll be able to get our 39-hour out this weekend coming up, but the 12-hour night's definitely in a little bit of trouble if the weather stays like it is now, because that east wind makes it tough on the friendly fishermen at night. Florida fishermen is a lot different, and you're traveling out there with it, sea at your back, so a little bit easier to deal with. But I would say strategic advice outside of bad weather would be making sure you ask questions and watch. The beautiful thing about party boat fishing, my favorite thing about party boat fishing is the fact that you have other people on the boat to learn from. On a private charter, it's nice. You've got this small boat. You've got a captain and crew waiting on you hand and foot. And they're going to help you. They're going to teach you. You're going to be able to learn from them. But on a party boat, you have the benefit of so many different walks of life, so many different levels of experience, and so many different approaches from different areas. Somebody's dad or mom or grandpa taught them how to fish, and they all come together, and everybody has a little bit of a different method or opinion or approach, and a different style, a different tackle setup, a different preference, everybody, this guy likes Shimano, that lady likes Daiwa, and we all come together and make it work. And it's always interesting to me to see all these different approaches and how they work and how they come together. And you sometimes are blessed with the opportunity to see, all right, this person's catching fish today really, really well. What are they doing a little differently than me? Asking questions, opening your eyes and opening your mind. Sometimes you see people come into it and they're like, well, this is the rig that I've always fished with, and this is how I do it back in Wisconsin, and I'm not changing, and it's this way or the highway. They tend to not have as positive as an experience, whereas you have this maybe lady who comes out and she's like, I'll listen. I have questions. I'm going to sit here. I'm going to answer. I'm going to ask, and I've got an open mind, and I'm here to learn and approach it differently. And then you're going to be able to soak up from people around you. And that's a lot of times why lady anglers can do so much better, so much faster than guys, because sometimes guys come into it with the ego and they're like, hey, I know how to fish. But what's interesting is if you are fishing Central West Florida and you're used to fishing in Destin or Panama City Beach or Jacksonville or Canaveral or Port St. Lucie or the Keys, it's totally different. Every little part of Florida is a different style of fishing, different microcosm, and they all have their different approaches. Like in Destin, they're going to be fishing 2-pound leads a lot of times, 1-pound lead, whereas we're fishing 6-8 ounces. On the East Coast, 2 hours away, 2.5 hours away, they're using 12-foot leaders. We use 4-foot leaders. Up in Northeast, they do a totally different style of fishing, and their edge is very short or close to shore. Southeast, it's the topography is different, the angle is different, the pressure is different. Down in the Keys, it's like island time, totally different world. So what's cool about party boat fishing is you have this opportunity to learn from so many different people. And then you do have a captain and crew waiting on you hand and foot. They're splitting their time between everybody, so they don't have as much time to spend with you specifically. But there's a lot of really cool people on the boat that you can talk to, maybe buy a beer for and get them chatting. That's like, I think back to Jighead Ed. May he rest in peace. I talk about him a lot if you watch the show for a while. He was a salty, grouchy, amazing fisherman, and it took me years to break him down and make friends. And man, some of the best experiences, conversations where I learned the most about pelagic trolling is just sitting on the stairs while he's chain smoked cigarettes and just unloaded this lifetime of fishing experience on me. It was really, really interesting. I learned so much, and we're so blessed with so many advanced anglers who come out with us like that. Countless others. I mean, his cousin Danny, John Martin, the list just goes on and on and on. And we're so blessed with so many of these anglers who know so much and are willing to share if you make friends. And it's all about building those relationships and networks and getting to know people. And man, it can make it even more fun because then you're fishing with your friends. And we do have plenty of private charter options too, so you can do the private charter route as well. But there are some benefits, I think, to party boat fishing that not a lot of people realize, or maybe people take for granted, that are pretty cool. All right, I want to give Tammy a shout out. Had a 39-hour trip, my first experience. She was super helpful. I have a 6-aught reel. Is that good for a 39-hour trip? Yeah, 6-aught reel works real well for a kind of middle-of-the-road, all-around option. I like a 4-aught for the snapper, the mangroves, and yellowtails and stuff like that. A 6-aught's good for some red grouperin, red snapperin, and then I like a little bit bigger, like a 9-aught for the big amberjack or gags. But amberjack and gags aren't open right now, so a 6-aught's pretty good. What are the large ships or barges off of Fort DeSoto? Are they dredging a channel? Yes. What is, Google this for me, Josh. I think Pinellas County beach restoration, beach renourishment. Yeah, beach renourishment. Yeah, that one right there. Boom. All right, got it. I remembered. So they're doing beach renourishment up and down our coast from Sand Key all the way through, blanked on the name, Paso Grill, all the way up and down the coast. Let's see here, project updates. There's a map in here somewhere that's really cool where they're pulling the sand from. Yeah, it's not going to be in here somewhere. I'm going to be able to find it, but I don't want to. Oh, there we go. All right, so I didn't scroll down long enough. So there's Josh is going to make this bigger for us. He wants me to stop moving the mouse. All right, so this is, I believe, Sand Key. So there's a lot of this already completed. Wow. So nourishment is starting up in the Reddingtons. What's the blue stand for? Plan not started yet. This is what we're waiting for right in here. Treasure Island, because what they're doing, where you're seeing the barges, is they're pulling sand from down here, which is called the Egmont Barrow area. That's what the barges are doing. They're pulling this sand and then putting it on barges, and those barges are going all the way up here and dropping it on the beach. So the barges are going back and forth from Sand Key all the way to Egmont, Sand Key all the way to Egmont, taking sand back and forth. And when they start on Treasure Island, they're going to actually start pulling, see all this blue? They're going to start putting sand here, and they're going to pull that sand from John's Pass, baby. They're going to finally dredge west of the bridge our channel, which will be super helpful. And they're going to pull all that sand out, make John's Pass channel between 11 to 13 feet deep, which there is a spot where it's about 4 foot deep on low tides. So that will help tremendously make John's Pass deep again, which we will be thankful for. I'm considering a 39-hour trip in mid-November. What type of fish are targeted? Every type of fish, except for gags, amberjack, and red snapper. But potentially, red snapper may reopen. We don't know. There is a chance that red snapper could reopen. We'll know more at the end of October, and we would probably see that season reopen around mid-November if it does reopen for us. But if it doesn't, we'll be targeting red grouper, scamp grouper, triggerfish, mangroves, muttons, yellowtails, vermilions, porgies, almacos, wahoo, kingfish, tuna, a litany of different bottom fish and pelagic fish. There is a ton of fish that we catch, and there's only 3 that are out of season right now, so not many. What did they do with all the sand that were on the roads from the hurricanes? Actually, they let us put it back on the beach, which was cool. Normally, they don't let us put it back on the beach. Past flooding events, we've had to pay to take it to the dump, which made no sense. But this time, they let us put it back on the beach. How's it looking for next weekend on the 10-hour? Next weekend, we're definitely going to, or this weekend coming up, it looks a little chunky on Sunday. This Tuesday and Thursday look a lot better. But he asked, what does it look good for 100-foot plus? Remember, our 10-hour trip only fishes about 50, 60 foot of water up to 100 foot. So a 10-hour would never get past 100 foot of water. On our 10-hour, 12-hour extreme, 39-hour, 44-hour long-range private charters, we fish beyond 100 foot. But 10-hour, shallower than that. And this time of year especially, we're fishing much shallower. Our 10-hour, generally, we're fishing about 40, 50, 60 foot of water because we're targeting those hogfish. This time of year, we're fishing shallower because we're going to have a better chance for hogfish. If we fished 60, 70, 80, 90, maybe up to 100 foot, we might catch a few red grouper, but we're going to do better and have a better chance at more hogfish fishing shallower. Plus, we see those lanes, a couple mangroves mixed in. Today's 10-hour trip, we had 17 hogfish, we had 5 mangrove snapper, and a keeper red grouper with some gray snapper or white grunts in the mix. So today was an example of why we fish a little shallower on those 10-hour trips, because we generally do a little bit better this time of year and in a little shallower. Any chance of catching red grouper on the 10-hour trips? Yeah. Today we caught one, but we don't catch a ton of them. I would say your best bet if you want to catch a lot of red grouper would be a 12-hour extreme trip, 39-hour, 44-hour, or a long-range private charter. Even if red grouper are biting extremely well, we don't see a lot near shore. We see more hogfish this time of year near shore than anything. Can you describe a good trolling outfit for the 39 or 44-hour trip? So 30 or trolling wise, remember these are bottom fishing trips. So we're going bottom fishing. We're not going trolling. So trolling is something you can do on the way out and the way between spots, but it's not something that the crew is going to be helping with actively. It's kind of something you're left to your own devices on. And a lot of times on the way out, it's mackerel, bonita, maybe a kingfish. Between spots is really when we see the bigger trophy fish. But keep in mind, to troll, you need a 2-speed reel generally and a bigger one, like a 50 wide or an 80 wide 2-speed trolling reel. You could put like 80-pound mono in there. That works just fine on one of those big reels. You have enough line capacity. Some people like a braid backing of like 60, 80-pound test braid backing, so that way you could put more line capacity in there. But you'd want a solid, probably 100 to 150 foot of mono on top, because you want to be making sure the mono's what you're dealing with when you're trolling. And then a lot of times we're trolling lipped trolling plugs like the Rapala X-Rap or Nomad DTX Minnow or Nomad Mad Max. Those are kind of the popular trolling plugs when we're about 25, 30 miles ashore or offshore or more. Near shore, we're typically doing a trolling spoon behind a planer, like a number 1 or number 2 planer. And we have all of that stuff in our office as well. So if you wanted to, you could always just pick it up in the office before a trip. What is the minimum number of people to go out on a 39-hour trip? It depends on the trip and the number of people, because we can have different situations, different weather events, all that good stuff. But generally, we don't have to worry about that, because generally we have enough people if the weather's good. Glancing at our October trips, we've got light loads. This Friday coming up, the 17th, we only got 25. Next week, Tuesday, the 21st, we only got 24. But it's all enough to go, so no worries on that. The 24th and 31st, we also have 39-hour trips. Those have a little more than 30, but not bad at all. November's trip's looking pretty light right now, but it's still a month out, so we got plenty of time to add people there. Let's do another giveaway. Let's do our 10-hour all-day giveaway. Then we'll get into some more questions. Remember, if you have a question, drop it to us in a text message to the phone number at the bottom of the screen there. 10-hour all-day was brought to you by our friends over at the Friendly Fisherman Seafood Restaurant. This is a 10-hour all-day, 1 lucky winner, 2 guests. Friendly Fisherman Restaurant at Johns Pass is back under the management of the Hubbard family. The same family serving up the best fishing and dining experiences in Madeira Beach for nearly a century. Come rediscover the Friendly Fisherman and taste the difference with the freshest seafood, improved menus, and service you've come to expect from the Hubbard's Marina family. Enjoy unbeatable waterfront views, a welcoming atmosphere, and flavors straight from the Gulf. Locals and visitors alike, come see what's new today at the Friendly Fisherman. Captain's Platter is my recommendation, but they have some killer specials going on. And they have this incredible fish spread. The bacon wrapped scallops are one of my favorite, but the Captain's Platter is really good. Plus, they have a ribeye that's really impressive as well. And the Sizzler burger from Burger Week is still there. Still there. It's amazing. So check that out for sure, because nothing says a good burger like smoked Gouda cheese, bacon jam, bacon, fried onions, these spicy special pickles, and then like a jalapeno aioli. Not sure what that means, but I just know it's very good on this burger. It's real good. All right, so let's see who won. Now that I'm hungry, let's see who won a 10-hour all-day trip. 1 lucky winner, 2 guests, brought to you by our friends over at Friendly Fisherman Seafood Restaurant. Lucky winner is Michael Belikovich. I'm going to go from that. Chile, Wisconsin. Now it's a good excuse to come down to sunny Florida. It's a little chilly here, though. Took the family on a golf cart ride last night looking at Halloween decorations. My kids were in pants, sweatshirts, socks, and then we had to go back a second time to get blankets. I was like, dude, it's not even 78 degrees. Like, chill. But it is getting chilly for Floridians, so it is pretty impressive to see the temperatures drop for sure. All right, let's see here. What do we got? Next question. If you're a supporter, do they mail the calendars? We can mail the calendars for you, but there is shipping, so that's the only challenge. Come pick up a calendar for free or join us at one of those awesome events that we'll have coming up for free for our supporters. Is Red Snapper still open on the weekend? No. Red Snapper weekend holidays, the Governor Ron DeSantis announcement that people keep sending me, and FWC's announcements, those are private recreational seasons for private recreational fishermen. Our federal for-hire series season is June 1st through September 15th. And we've been telling you guys that for many months on the show, so hopefully there's no confusion. But if you're new to the show, yes, those weekend season dates are not for us. It's private recreational angling, so it is not open on the weekends for us. You have to have your own private boat and own your own private boat and be going out on a private trip. What type of watch do you wear? This is a Apple Watch. I used to wear a Garmin Phoenix, I forget which one, but the Garmin Aquatics and the Garmin Phoenix series with the solar faces were dope. I really like the Garmin products, but I went on the dark side, and I've gone fully Apple from my laptop to my phone to my iPad and my watch, and it's just really seamless because it's all super intuitive and communicates nicely amongst each other. So I went to the Apple Watch, but I do not enjoy the battery life. This is a new one and still only about 2 days battery, whereas that Garmin watch with the solar face, I would lose the charger because it was such a good battery. Like every 3 weeks you had to charge it, 4 weeks if I was in the sun a lot. So like 4 weeks later, you're like, where the heck did I leave that charger? That was a problem. So I really like the Garmin products for that reason, but it is not quite as seamlessly intuitive with your other Apple products was the challenge. And for business, this Apple Watch is a lot nicer. All right, next question. What do we got? I'm booked on the November 7 night trip. How big is the big mangrove? How's the big mangrove bite? Oh, that's what it's asking. How's the big mangrove bite usually in November? Generally, cooler months is a little tricky because we get these cold fronts. But as long as we get lucky and get out there in between these cold fronts, man, the mangrove snapper fishing is awesome. We generally see bigger mangrove snapper as well. So we don't see as many mangrove snapper in the cooler months. The quantity drops off, but man, the quality goes extremely high. We see a lot more quality fish. So the night mangrove snapper, we've seen 9.5, almost 10-pound mangrove snapper weighed in. And I would not be surprised if we see those again once it cools off, for sure, which is exciting. Exciting times for sure. Good time to get out there. Don't try to rename it. It's such a pain in the butt. Then they ask you for emails. It does not make it easy. Let's see what else we got. No. Do red grouper migrate closer to shore as water temperatures drop in the fall and winter? No. I was under the impression at a young age that red grouper came closer in the summertime. We generally, like when I was 10, 12, 13, 14 years old, I was working the charter boats a lot. And I started working the 10 hours when I was probably like 16, 17, 18. We did a lot of near shore drifting, like 40, 50, 60, 70, 80 foot of water. We would drift fish and we would catch 30, 40, 50 red grouper. It was crazy. It was really awesome. But it was in the summer, primarily warmer months, and the red grouper bite was really good near shore drifting. But we just, since the red tides of 2014, 2016, 2018, 2020, we've never really seen that red grouper near shore bottom recover, unfortunately. But yeah, that was stellar, and it was normally warmer months when we saw them in there. Cooler months, they push a little deeper. Red grouper don't like don't like that cooler weather. They stay a little deeper. But we found out over time, red grouper tend to not move very far. So they're just, I guess, less active, less, they don't scavenge as much during the day in the cooler months. We don't see them as often, as frequent in the cooler months in that shallow stuff, that 40, 50, 60, 70 foot. Whereas warmer months, they're a little bit more active in that shallow stuff. But we also fish deeper in warmer months because hogfish aren't biting as well. So we fish 70, 80, 90, 100 foot because when it gets really hot, that's when the fish are a little bit more active, a little deeper too. All right, so let's see what else we got. I have a tight window to fish. Can I book a 5 or 10 hour charter in advance? Yeah. You can book you don't even have to book. You can show up. You don't have to have a reservation. If you want to just show up on a Tuesday morning, you can join us for a 10 hour trip. You don't have to have a reservation. But we always recommend reservations. That way, if we're privately chartered, if we have to cancel due to weather, if something comes up, we can call you in advance. So we always encourage reservations 12 to 24 hours, really 24 hours or more in advance if at all possible, but they're not required. All right, let's see. Keep in mind, guys, we can't respond to your questions too often. Sometimes people want us to respond back during the shows, and it's hard enough just to flip around if people keep messaging us, asking us for replies. It's hard to navigate the questions, and it's also impossible to reply to you because we're live during the show. What's the best rigging for a mangrove snapper? We are real low on time, so I will just say double Snell rig. But Josh, can we pop over the website real quick? Because I want to show this again because it's been a while since we've reminded folks. If you go to hubbardsmarina.com, hit fishing trips, scroll down here to the fishing video links page. We have this fishing tips and tricks page. This thing is covered up in a litany of amazing videos here. We've got grouper fishing mistakes, how to catch red snapper like a boss, a 30-minute video on red snapper fishing tips. We've got how to catch hogfish and what rig to use, how to catch big red snapper, how to catch hogfish, multiple hogfish videos in there, guide to offshore bottom fishing, how to catch pinfish without a net or a trap. I mean, just a litany of really, really cool videos that show you more about fishing tips and tricks. We've got rigging tips on how to tie, how to hook, how to rig. We've got general tips about venting fish, how the weather affects fishing, how spinning reels versus conventional reels for offshore fishing, how to cook your fish even. A lot of different stuff in here. Man, some of these videos are old. Look at that guy. I think that was like 2004. What's the date on this video? We have to pull this up. How do I pull it up?
I'll get this fixed.
Uh-oh.
That's loading them in.
Oh, we're loading them in. There we go. I had to click and accept it first.
YouTube at the bottom.
Oh, we're getting there. How old is this video, Skip?
8 years.
8 years ago. That's embarrassing. Back to the show. Man, we got to take that video down, Josh.
I've been saying we need to update these videos.
We need to update a lot of these videos. Wow. All right, so don't watch that page. Never mind. But going back here real quick, under fishing trips, under fishing video links, there's also the Bass Pro fishing seminar link as well here. We did a litany of Bass Pro seminars, and these are all about an hour long, and there is a ton of them here on Bass Pro fishing seminars. So you can go to fishing video links and Bass Pro, and then also you can always watch past shows. All the past shows. We do these shows every Sunday night, and we talk for an hour, so you can always watch those as well. So website has a ton of video links there for you to peruse and learn more. What was the other question? But a double Snell rig is definitely what you want to do for the mangrove snapper. What's that next one up? Yeah, that one. I like that one. Do you recommend using pinfish right now? Yes and no. 10-hour trips, focus on the shrimp for the hogfish. Maybe some pinfish for a red grouper if you want to target them, or a big mangrove snapper like those small pinfish. But you need like maybe a dozen. Don't go more than a dozen. 39-hour trips, maybe 1-2 dozen, because again, the big mangrove snapper like a small to medium pinfish. Red grouper sometimes like those pinfish too. So you still want pinfish if you're on those 12-hour extreme, 39, 44-hour trips. Near shore wise, pinfish become much less important. Shrimp is really where you want to focus. Near shore, offshore, pinfish is still pretty good. Nope, not acknowledging. Moving on. Look up.
It's
Oh, yeah.
your phone.
Oh, yeah.
Your watch.
Just from my understanding, are you saying red snapper is always open for private anglers? No. Red snapper private angling seasons are weekends only. Weekends only. What is the smallest setup you would use for hogfish on the 10-hour? Probably about a 3,000 series. Captain Frank used to use that a lot. I like a 4,000 or 5,000 series spin and reel personally. About 20 pound is as light as you'd want to go on the braid side of things, but most of the time 30-pound braid is better. And then as far as leader goes, you want to use at least a 30-pound fluorocarbon. Some people will go 25, even as light as 20. But if you're using 20-pound test, you can't really swing that fish a lot of times. You're going to break your line. Nothing worse than losing that hogfish at the surface, because if it's that close hogfish, we can't gaff it. So you got to swing it onto the boat, and nothing worse than that line snapping when you go to swing your keeper hogfish onto the boat, or maybe potentially keeper hogfish onto the boat. So 30-pound test is better, but it's 25 you could maybe get away with. 20 is, in my opinion, too light, but people do it. I've seen it. But I would say 25, 30 would be about as light as you want to go. And this was interesting. I was looking at another party boat. They were talking about hog fishing, and they were suggesting 1 to 2-aught hooks. If you ask me, I'm always suggesting 3 or 4-aught hooks. And the reason why is because hogfish have very large mouths. So if you use a small 1 or 2-aught hook, a lot of times that little baby hook can get lost inside that hogfish's mouth, and when you go to set the hook, it's gonna miss. So I like a little bit bigger hook for those hogfish, 3 or 4-aught, because of such a big mouth, in my opinion. That's my suggestion. But some people will use smaller hooks, 1 or 2-aught hooks. But me personally, I think you'd be messing up if you went light or smaller than 3-aught. Why do you not recommend a chicken rig? Why do you torture me so? Mark Snow. Hi, Haley. What other questions? Do we have another question? We're pretty much out of time anyway. Oh, that's a good quick one. Can you explain spoon trolling a little bit more? So right now, mackerel are everywhere up and down the beach. Literally anybody on virtually any boat. Your John boat with a tiller, you can get out there and go fishing for mackerel and catch a ton of them and have a ton of fun. If you got kids and you've got access to any sort of boat, go out to John's Pass, Paso Grill, Sand Key, Clearwater Pass, Tampa Bay, Blinds Pass, Bunce's Pass, any pass right now. Early morning, I'm not talking sunrise, I'm talking take your kids fishing, so 8, 9 a.m., first part of the day, and get out there and find the birds, find the bait, and start trolling. And I'm talking like 5, 6 knots, like a little faster than clutch ahead. And I've literally gone out there in a boat that didn't have rod holders, and I had one rod in each hand just holding them out. And I'd hook a mackerel and pass it to my kid, and then slow the boat down and let them reel it in while I was trying to catch a mackerel with this hand. Like, you can do it with anything. It's really easy. But the planer and spoon is the simplest method, a number 1 planer. And then you want about 12 to 18 feet of, I would go about 40 to 60 pound test. 40 is gonna produce more bites, but gets a little bit you're playing with fire a little bit. 60 pound test, It's going to be a lot easier to handle. You're not going to cut your hand if you get a bigger fish on there, and it's going to be more solid. You're not going to break it, lose your spoon as easy. But if the water's really clear, you might not get as many bites. So you could even use 50. But 40 to 60 pound test, about 12 to 18 feet. Generally, the rule of thumb is 3 arm lengths. So for me, 3 arm lengths is going to be more like 18 feet, right? But it depends on your arm lengths, I guess. But about 3 arm lengths. So because what happens is the planer's out there, you set the planer, you catch a fish, the planer comes up to the surface, the fish comes up to the surface, you reel the planer and spoon back, but that planer hits the tip of the rod. So you have to have the person reeling step back a little bit so you can grab the line in front of the planer, and you want to be able to pull, and then lift the fish in. Generally is the idea. So 3 arm lengths for that reason, and that gives you enough distance between the spoon and the planer, so hopefully the mackerel and kingfish aren't hitting your planer. If you keep them too close together, they'll hit the planer, and you'll lose the planer and the spoon and be frustrated and not catch fish. So don't do that. But a real simple, easy method and a lot of fun. Real productive as well. Start now for sure. All right, with that, let's get into our last giveaway, which is our 39-hour giveaway. Before we give away our 39-hour trip, what time is our supporters after show, Josh? 8:50 is the supporters after show. Make sure you check us out on our Facebook and YouTube supporters after show. Remember, we give away a lot of free stuff. You get access to our private group and private after show. Becoming a supporter, it's only $4.99 a month, and we have the page right on our website to become a supporter today. The Facebook supporters get access to the group. On YouTube, you get access to the show. But if you want a chance to get free stuff, access to the group, join our Facebook supporters group. Also, with that, don't forget guidechecker.com. If you are a fishing guide and you are not listed on guidechecker.com, you're missing out. If you know a fishing guide who's not listed on guidechecker.com, they are missing out. It is an elite group of fishing guides who are looking to ensure that they are verifiable and verified. And we're not accepting just anybody. It's all vetted, verified, insured, captains credentialed, permitted guys and gals on that group. So it's a really cool way for guests to come to the area and know they're getting out on a boat with a licensed, insured, permitted captain and not some fly-by-night wahoo. Because remember, there's a lot of booking sites out there like Fishing Booker, Get Your Guide, Captain's Experiences, and someone can go out and buy a boat, get a captain's license pretty easily, and with a little bit of money and zero experience, knowledge, or know-how, and start running charters. And you don't want to get on a boat with someone who doesn't have the experience, knowledge, know-how, and insurance, because it puts you in a dangerous spot, you and your family. So check out guidechecker.com if you're a client looking to find a guide in a different area. Maybe you're not fishing with Hubbard's Marina for some reason. Guidechecker.com. If you're a fishing guide, check it out because it's going to help you to reach more people and get verified today. Elite top-tier guides, none of the wheat or chaff. All right, let's find out who won a 39-hour fishing trip. Robert Holzhauser, appreciate those 500 stars, buddy. What's going on, dude? Appreciate you, my man. Appreciate all the super chats on YouTube tonight as well. Appreciate everybody tuning in and hanging out with us. Hopefully you enjoyed the show. Remember, Supporters After Show starts at 8:50. Hopefully we'll see everybody next week for another episode every Sunday night at 7:30 p.m. Hopefully we'll see you October 28th. Tuesday, October 28th, 7 to 9 p.m. at OCC Roadhouse with the Mad Snooker himself, Captain Dave Pomerleau. All right, our 39-hour trip giveaway is brought to you by our friends over at Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's. At Hubbard's Marina, we've been fishing Gulf waters for nearly a century, and we know tough gear when we see it. That's why we're proud to partner once again with Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's. Their saltwater tackle and equipment take the same daily abuse we put them through on all of our boats, in our seafood market, and out on the water. and they keep delivering. From Seafire reels that stand up to constant rental use, to hooks, fluorocarbon, and the leaders we trust on every trip, their product performs when it counts. Even in our seafood market, their Cabela's vacuum sealer holds up to under daily commercial use. When you fish with us, you're fishing with the same quality gear that we rely on every day. Tested, trusted, and proven by generations of fishermen. Bass Pro Shops, Cabela's, and Hubbard's Marina, where great gear meets great fishing. Thank you, Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's, for sponsoring our 39-hour giveaway. Let's see who the lucky winner is of that giveaway. Lucky winner is Chris Birchfield from Jensen Beach, East Coaster. Congrats. You got 5 minutes or less to text us your full home address, Chris Birchfield. Hopefully everybody enjoyed the show. We'll see you guys next week for another episode of our Sunday night live stream show, Off the Hook with Captain Hubbard. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to also drop a comment. Tell us what we're doing well, what you'd like to see changed. Make sure you follow on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all that good stuff as well. We got a lot of new content on our YouTube channel. If you haven't seen it yet, you're missing out. So make sure you subscribe, turn notifications on, give that live stream a like for us before you leave. Thank you guys. You have a good night, Tight Lines. We'll see you, if you're a supporter, at 8:50 for the after show. Thanks for being a part of our Hubbard's Marina family, y'all. Don't forget, if you're too busy to go fishing, you're just too darn busy.